We're delighted to say that this episode of the Give My Head podcast is sponsored by our very, very good friends at Phoenix Energy. Thank you, Phoenix Energy. Phoenix Energy, guys, do you know what they've just done? They've just launched a brand new rewards program called Phoenix Rewards Club. It's a new club for people who live within the Phoenix area and who aren't connected to the network. That's actually me, believe it or not.
Really?
I am thinking of getting Phoenix Energy, not just because they're wonderful guys and they sponsor this wonderful podcast. I'm genuinely thinking about it because I'm on the electric and it's costing a flipping fortune. This reward scheme from Phoenix is perfect if you're thinking of making the switch to gas but would like to find out more information. It's completely free to join. And do you know what you get if you join?
£10 voucher.
How did you know that, Damon?
Who's a £10 voucher with?
Amazon voucher.
You get a £10 Amazon voucher when you sign up to become a member and a part of the Phoenix Rewards Club. You will be the first to find out about all the exclusive offers. You will receive useful news and updates and get excellent advice on tips on energy saving, which we all need, because despite what Donald Trump says, the climate's not great at the minute, so we probably should save some energy.
And you'll save some money.
And you'll save some money as well, and you'll be even entered into the prize draw to win gift vouchers every month. Guest interaction. I probably shouldn't have said guest interaction. So listen, definitely check out, head over to phoenixenergyni.com. phoenixenergyni.com / Phoenix Rewards and get all the details about the Phoenix Rewards scheme. Check your postcode to see if you're eligible, and you get a £10 voucher for nothing, just for listening to this podcast.
£10 voucher.
£10 voucher. Go now to Phoenix Energy, and thank you once again to our wonderful sponsors, Phoenix Energy. Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Give My Head podcast. I'm Tim McGarry.
I'm Michael McDowell.
I'm Damon Quinn.
The Give My Head podcast. This is episode 30 something or other. Basically, we talk about comedy and culture in Northern Ireland from the perspective of three old fellas who used to do Give My Head piece. And we bring on young and upcoming stars, and we have a superb guest today. She's really only here because her ma is a fan and her ma listens to the podcast. Emer Maguire, you are very, very welcome. Welcome to the Give My Head podcast.
Thanks for having me.
You're absolutely very, 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 very welcome. Thanks for turning up about 25 minutes late because
Thank you, Tim. Thank you. That's the autism. Thank you. Thanks very much.
Is it autism? Oh, we're gonna play the autism card early on.
That's just an excuse for all my misgivings.
Yes, even though I sent you the perfect directions, I sent you the exact link on the Instagram. And the weird thing is because the first time I met you, it was before you were sort of a comedian, but I didn't really know you were a comedian. But the first time I met you, I did a science thing with you. It was a podcast or something you were doing.
Oh yes,
you were doing the science of
laughter.
Yeah.
The science of laughter. Yeah. So
you're a scientist before you're a comedian.
Well, I was actually a speech and language therapist. So, I worked as a speech and language therapist for years and did that. But then I kind of moved into science because I went to Queen's End, went to medical school, did science, did anatomy, medicine, that kind of thing. And then did more studying. So I was in science and, I didn't want to be a comedian. No offence, very good career and all. But I didn't really know that was a thing, like a career option. I just, you know what I mean? So I didn't want to do comedy. It never occurred to me. But then people kept saying, when I was doing my science talks and stuff, you're funny and you're a good comedian. And I was like, I'm not a comedian, but then it kind of just it kind of moved into that organically,
Right.
So
you're a speech therapist,
mm-hmm.
right? Okay.
Speech and language therapist, yeah. I know.
And you're from Strabane,
but it's not your fault.
I was like, is there a link between that and the speech therapy?
No, because we sometimes make fun of Strabane. People do. Strabane is one of those places. It's a bit kind of Lurganish, Larnish as a kind of cheap punchline.
I think we would take umbrage to that.
A cheap punchline, which I
would you always forswear? You never do that.
I would never do that.
You never do that.
The basis of all Tim's comedy.
Occasionally, I have sunk to the depths of saying "I Strabane," but it's not that bad. Strabane's all right.
That's actually our motto on the town. It's not that bad. I think so. It's funny because growing up in Strabane, I think Strabane's great. But I was used to Strabane having the piss taken out of it from a really young age because I went to school in Derry, so they would really I wouldn't like to say bully, terrorise us about being from Strabane, you know, like it was the worst thing in the world.
Derry looks down on Strabane.
Yeah, exactly. They have a cheek.
Those suave city slickers from Derry.
Yeah, they thought that they were, you know, so posh, so fancy, and we weren't. So really, really was used to it. But then whenever I started doing comedy, people would be like, and you're from Strabane, you know, as if it was. But like,
are you all right?
Strabane's great. Yeah. Now, it might not be the fanciest place, might not be the richest place, but I tell people all the time, people in Strabane are the nicest people. See, in Belfast and all, like the niceties in the community feel and all that there, it's nothing compared to Strabane. Like, everybody in Strabane is genuinely lovely. Yeah. So that's the thing. And it's like whenever you take the piss out of Strabane, people are just like, that's all right. You know, we're just happy to be included. We don't mind at all.
Well, we love
so it's a great place.
We love playing the Alley Theatre.
Oh, it's an amazing theatre.
And again, the staff there are lovely. We sold out again. Really nice atmosphere.
And they serve you a drink after the show ends, unlike a lot of theatres.
I was about to get on to that. A lot of theatres in Northern Ireland and Waterfront, we're looking at you. Opera House closes far too early as well. Certain theatres don't even give you a drink after the show. This Alley Theatre, they stay open. They wait until the cast come out and they give the cast a free drink.
They're very decent. Well, that's the thing. That's the community thing. Everybody in Strabane's just really dead on.
Yes.
Do you know, it's like, do you want a drink? That's no bother at all. Do you know, and the Alley is class. I have to say, I've done a couple of gigs in the Alley and it's one of my favourite, not just because I'm from there. Yeah. It's just a brilliant theatre and everybody's so friendly and it makes a big difference.
It makes a huge difference.
That's the Strabane
Marketplace in Armagh, big shout out to them because they have a lovely bar and they stay open.
Yeah, they're nice as well.
Who's on the naughty list then? Who's on the...
No, don't start that.
Don't
start that.
Don't cancel.
Don't slag off the Riverside because they're going to be closed down. No, that's not true because we can slag them.
Don't slag anything.
No, I'm only joking. No, the Riverside actually, though. No, the guy on the Riverside was lovely.
Yeah, he was actually
very kind.
Yeah.
Sorry, no. Don't slag off the lovely theatre.
Yeah,
we love all the theatres that we played.
Yeah.
But Strabane is a very nice place.
Very nice place. And I don't know if it's still correct. We had a bit of something to brag about. We had for a long time the biggest Asda in Northern Ireland, which is quite amazing. Yeah, I used to work in it, so I think that I had something to do with that. But that's the biggest. I don't know if it still is. And we have the tinnies. You heard of the tinnies?
No, it's the tinnies.
Have you heard of the tinnies? Dan's heard of the tinnies?
Danny's heard of the tinnies.
The tinnies are these massive...
Is this a family?
Sculpture. The tinnies are big sculptures.
Yes.
And then whenever like the All Ireland's on and all, they put on like, you know, throwing colours or they put on like stuff for Halloween. I can't believe you've never heard. You must be very uncultured, Tim.
What other?
No, they're people, Tim.
They're people.
Big cow. You've got to take that personally offensive.
I'm thinking a clock and counting down. They have a big tin. They have a big tin cow and a roundabout.
No,
these are people.
These are people, you know, and they are. They're playing instruments and stuff. Very, very. Strabane is, you know, a bit of a hub culture, which you obviously have never heard of at all.
You see, we always arrive at night, so we obviously don't see them.
They're lit up at night, so
they're lit up.
Your visual impairment's quite bad.
We take a route that doesn't go past.
Hang on, I give Michael a spade here to dig a bigger hole.
We go to the Asda, and that's what we've heard of the Asda. That's about it.
Yeah,
the Asda is close to the theatre.
Yes, and the tinnies are next to the Asda. But anyway, so Strabane it's a good place. I love it.
It is a good place. Our sound person, Michael Kilty, comes from Strabane.
That's right.
Oh, very talented, Michael Kilty.
Yeah, the Michael Kilty.
We all know each other in Strabane, you see.
What?
We all know each other. Do you know? So
Rory Woods, comedian.
Oh yes, he's from Strabane as well. Very good.
You better mention Mandy.
Mandy, his glamorous assistant. Mandy.
Mandy's from Strabane.
Mandy is the nicest person in the world.
See, Strabane.
Mandy is the nicest. Mandy comes to all our shows and laughs at the back 28 times in a row. She's seen it 28 times.
So many,
she
still. We love building people up.
She's great.
Yeah. I don't think it's out of politeness. I think she does laugh.
No, she does.
She probably forgets that she's seen it before. She's just laughing again. Very good.
Michael Kilty Jr. And Paul Brady. Who else famous from Strabane?
Hugo Duncan.
Yes, mate of mine. Yes,
Hugo Duncan.
Good old Hugo.
And Mickey Joe Hart, who represented Ireland in the Eurovision.
Oh, right.
You don't remember? Oh my God!
Eurovision.
He did very well. He came 28th or something. We got the world
that was good
tonight. He was really good. Right. And there was another boy, Ryan Dolan. He represented Eurovision too.
Right.
He might be Lifford, but I mean we're claiming him. So there's a lot of talent.
There must be a movement very soon to get Emer Maguire on to do Eurovision.
Whenever they did Dust in the Turkey, that joke.
No, musical comedian. No, you could write proper songs.
Do you know what? And we'll probably
you would do Eurovision, wouldn't you?
Yeah, we're probably going to come last anyway, so might as well do it for the crack. It's not going to do you any
Yeah, but
harm.
think of the publicity. Think of
That'd
the
be great. Yes, I'll be on doing a comedy song.
How do the judge? Is there an open competition? Like, can you?
I don't know, because I've not been contacted yet, Tim, so I'm not quite sure. I think they do.
I'm putting it out here to the public. Emer Maguire,
You heard it here
Ireland's
first.
representative,
Yeah.
or the UK's representative. We're non-partisan
Whichever,
in this podcast.
both, whichever pays more, and it would be, Tim
Who's
McGuire
less
has put
chance
that
of
out
winning?
there.
The Brits are doing very
Brits
badly.
always
these
get voted
days.
down there. They always have a hard time.
I know I might keep my likability more if I go for
Aye,
Ireland.
stay for Ireland,
I'll
yeah.
have to see. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were playing in New York, were you? You just
I was.
Yes,
I was
where were you
playing in New
playing
York.
there?
So the Dead Rabbit.
right.
So it was weird because people keep asking me, how did you get a gig in New York? So the Northern Ireland Music Prize was on a few months ago. It was in the Ulster Hall, and it's like all the best music in Northern Ireland. Nothing to do with me. I was just asked to present an award at it. I was asked to present the award for Single of the Year, and I was like, absolutely brilliant. I actually thought it was like I was the single person of the year. I didn't know it was for music. So I was on doing that, and the guy who was presenting it with me was like, oh, will you do a gig in my place? And I was like, bit dodgy, but absolutely, like, brilliant. And I was like, where is it? And he said New York, and I was like, yeah, whatever. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that'd be grand. So then he was one of the guys
You
from the
said
Dead
no.
Rabbit.
No, I can't do it. I'm playing Strabane.
I'm playing Strabane that day, yeah. I'm out doing a collaboration with the Tunnies. And I was thinking, right, I'll go. So I went, and I was a bit worried. Thought the humour might not translate. And I thought the accent might not translate. But it was amazing. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was in the Dead Rabbit over there, and it was St. Paddy's weekend.
Oh, great.
So I was on the Friday, and St. Paddy's, I think, was the Sunday. So there's loads of Irish people, but loads of American people, Mexicans, whatever, loads of different people, but loads of Irish, and it was just class.
Yeah.
And then I got 2 more gigs when I was over there. Shane Todd was over there doing his tour, and he said to me to do 2 of his gigs with him over the next few days. So it was just brilliant. I couldn't believe how well it translated the humour, actually.
Yeah.
It was fantastic, because I thought they might not be, like, here our humour is very deadpan, especially the Northwest. It's very kind of bit dark, very dry, and sometimes I think I would have thought Americans would maybe get offended and stuff or not laugh.
They don't get sarcasm.
They don't get sarcasm, but the people who were there were absolutely loving it, so it was great to seem to find the people who were who were a little bit dark. Yeah, it was cool. I loved it.
Yeah. And the Dead Rabbit, is it a pub or is it a...
Yeah, it's like
kind of famous, isn't it, the Dead Rabbit?
Yeah, it's famous because they've won like best bar in the world.
Yes, that's it.
So it's like, it's so weird because you go and it looks like your granny's kind of terrace house, like just in the middle. It's so weird.
Right.
And it's just so Irish, right in the middle of New York. So you go in, and there's 3 floors, and it's like you're transported to here whenever you go in. It's a wee bit Duke of Yorkish, Right.
Yeah.
So you go in, there's 3 floors, then the comedy's up on the top floor, but it's like it's small and it's narrow and all, and it's amazing.
Beautiful.
It's
Wow.
really, it's beautiful, really, really nice. Yeah, so it was class.
Cool.
Had a ball.
The Americans are funny though. They really don't get sarcasm, do they? I mean, I took my son to Disneyland when he was about 10, and we went into Disney Village for tea that night, and I said, well, Connell, you pick where you want to go. And there was this place, and it was a bit of more of a nightclub, and it had like music and all.
Yeah.
And so he decided, I want to go there. So went to go in, and the doorman steps in front of us and says, no, I'm sorry, sir, we have an over 21 policy. And I went, oh, right, well, that rules me out. I'm halfway up he followed me up the street to go, I didn't mean you, I meant him. I go, no, you meant.
I know there are.
You just don't get it.
That's the thing. I think sometimes our jokes. Now, the people who are at the comedy club are obviously people who are into comedy, so they got it, they whatever.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes, because I do think we have like a really quick wit here, and you'll say things, and I think maybe in America or stuff, like the joke's gone with it, and they haven't even picked it up sometimes, or we say it in such a deadpan way that it couldn't possibly be. Like, I spend my entire life with people saying to me, are you being sarcastic? Are you being sarcastic? And it's nearly like sometimes you have to actually explain, and I'm like, I'm too smart for these people. You know what I mean? No, but you do think, like, I think we're so dry sometimes that people don't even know it's humour. Which is crazy. Some of the jokes you're making, how could people possibly think it's serious?
And did you mention the Trump word when you were there then? The president?
I didn't, but at one point the audience mentioned it. They just started to shout up Trump. I thought, Are they for him? Are they against him?
New York, you're
Which
probably.
way? Well, that's what I thought. And in an Irish bar,
But then
you
that's
know.
where he's from.
But you never know.
Oh no,
exactly,
the Irish
exactly.
people. No, a lot of the Irish people very pro-Trump. I think.
Yeah, there's.
I walk a couple of them, but I would hope. I don't think it would be people who would be at my gig.
Yeah.
Maybe you never know.
Was the mood generally like in mourning for the fact that they have him back, or
Yes.
Yeah.
So I had said something about, you know, I'm here. I don't do like political comedy. You know,
Thank
leave
God.
that to you
Yeah,
guys.
leave
you know,
that-
I just
stay off our territory.
leave that with
They
the
can leave that to
past.
us.
So leave that to them, out fellas. And so I don't do it just because I'm like, you know, I already have so much to get hate about, you know, like because I'm a girl doing comedy, because I'm gay, you know, because I'm from Strabane, because of the tism. I just thought I can't be arsed to get hate for political things as well, so I'll leave that out of it. But I have one song that is political in nature, and it's about I was asked a couple of years ago to do a song for the Northern Ireland football team, and I've always been like so naive here about like sectarianism. I've never understood, because my parents weren't like that, so I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
And also in Strabane, like, we didn't really have any Protestants, right? So I genuinely thought in Strabane that if you were a Protestant, it just meant you didn't go to Mass. So I thought Catholics went to Mass and Protestants didn't, but I thought they were just the same thing. I thought Protestants were just like lazy Catholics, like they just didn't get out of bed on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And I didn't know any different. And I knew like in the summer, in July, there was one day we weren't allowed to go to Derry shopping, and that was all I knew. Didn't know anything else. And then I went to uni, met my first Protestants, and kind of opened my eyes and stuff. But I never really got
And then
them.
found out it was the other way around. The Catholics were just lazy Protestants.
Yeah, exactly. And I just thought, like, I just never got any of it. So then I was asked to write this this song for the football team, and how much I didn't get it was last summer when the Euros were on, I was going to my friend's estate in Hollywood here. And I was like pulling in, and like all the curbs and all were red, white, and blue, and there was all this red, white, and blue bunting up.
Yeah.
And like I was like, this is amazing. I was like, you supporting France in the Euros? Like that's really like, do you have loads of French neighbours or what? And she just looked at me, but she thought I was joking, but I didn't have a clue. And then I was asked to write this song, and I would often go see the Northern Ireland women's team go play because I love football, and to me it's nothing to do with like religion or anything. I just like football. So they asked me to write a song, like, 'cause I would write comedy songs and stuff for different things, whatever. So I did, and it was about their achievements and the girls getting into the Euros and the goals that were scored and blah 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 and all this stuff. So I wrote it and I put it up on Facebook and got an amazing reception. But there was one person, you know, there's always one.
There's always one.
Only one.
Tim's like, all of them. No, there's one person, and they were like, you know, given that you're called Emer, you shouldn't be allowed to write a song for Northern Ireland. You should. What? I know, you should. And I thought, like, this was someone my age. You should piss off and write a song for the Republic. And I thought, like, if they have the budget, I'll write them, whatever. Right? But I got like hate from a religious point of view for that, and I had just not like even known that was a thing. Then there were people on the other side saying like I was a traitor for writing a song for them, and I was getting death threats for writing a song. I was like, I am just a simple musician. So I just thought like,
welcome to Northern Ireland.
I just thought it was crazy because I didn't grow up
pathetic.
like that. I just thought, oh my God, that is unbelievable. So then I wrote a song, and it was the only political thing I've ever done. It's not even political because it's just taking the piss out of everybody equally, but it's called Northern Ireland, North of Ireland, or whatever you want to call it, and it literally takes a piss out of both sides. So I was kind of introducing that and going to play it in New York, and when I said that and said something about politics, the crowds are going, Trump, Trump, all shouting different things, and I thought like, I don't know which way this is going to go. I don't know who you support. But they were shouting things like Trump and they were shouting things like fascist. So I don't think it was positive.
I think that gives you a clue.
So I was like,
that's a wee
I was like,
clue.
I don't know if this is the tism, but I'm picking up something here. I'm thinking here it's a little bit anti-Trump. So I did say to them, look, I do have a song for whenever Trump got put out a few years ago called Trump You're Dumped. But I didn't play it because I thought
Slightly out of date.
I just thought, it's about 4 years out of date, so I'm not going to play it. And it's about how Joe Biden's great, you know. And I mean, so I just thought like I can't really play that. So I kind of just took the piss out of them a little bit, but I thought I'm not going into it. Like I don't do political stuff here. I'm not going to do it there. Do you know what I mean? But I think the consensus was the audience weren't Trump fans, which was great because people who don't like Trump like me. So it's good.
That's
you know?
right.
Yeah,
That is nice.
Yeah.
But that the weird thing about knowing our football women's team, brilliant team.
Brilliant team.
Marissa Callahan, the captain, plays for Cliftonville. But
I saw her on a night out and I'm so embarrassed. I've never done this in my life. I went up and asked for a selfie.
Did you with Marissa?
Yeah. I would never do that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't ask Beyonce for a selfie. I wouldn't ask see if I ever see a celebrity.
Yeah.
I just it has no effect.
I know you
on
never
me.
came near me ever.
I know. I was like, who's your man? Did I used to, is he one of the ones from the home I used to work with in speech therapy?
Yeah.
No, I was just like, I would never go up to anybody ever. But I went up to her. I was so starstruck.
Yeah.
I know, but I think it's because I love football. And she was on it, and she was like, I was like, can I have a selfie, please? I love you. And she was like, yeah,
She's
sure.
retired from international football. And then Marissa Callahan, you know, played for Cliftonville for years, played for Northern Ireland, captain of Northern Ireland for years.
glazed over with Cliftonville, Timmy.
Got to go to the, but played for years when it was when nobody went to see them and was when there through the whole transition and nobody cared. And again, you Northern Ireland, you know, she's a gay woman from West Belfast, captain of Northern Ireland, not an issue, you know. And until you write a song and everybody.
And then it's an issue, do you know? And that's why I like it, because you're saying she's a gay woman from West Belfast, like. Whenever I was wee and I played football, it was like you went for trials for Northern Ireland because there was no issue, there was no anything. Yeah. So whenever you go to the girls' matches, like there's a really nice feel. Nobody gives a shit, and it's loads of parents with their daughters, which is really nice. Dads with their daughters. It's really lovely, and the religion, in my opinion, doesn't really come into the women's team. Do you know? It's lovely.
Yeah. Well, they've done. To be fair, the men's team have done a lot. They've done a lot to desectarize it as well.
Totally. It's different when you go to the women's though, because the men's you go when it's packed.
Yeah.
Do you know, and you can. I don't know. It's B's really busy and all, and it's nearly all men. Yeah. Do you know? So there's a different vibe. Hashtag not all men, but it isn't. But it's all men. So whenever you go as a girl, it feels a bit different to when you go as a girl and it's girls playing and it's girls whatever. Do you know? It's just a different vibe, and you don't feel. I don't know. I just feel like it's such a positive place to be.
Less testosterone.
Less testosterone would be my preference at all times. Yeah.
Listen, we had you on the blame game, and I don't like to blow smoke up your arse, but for one of those ones that people went for afterwards. Well, oh, she was brilliant. That guess is brilliant. Bring her back. She was fabulous. Because normally we get people going, that English fella didn't understand Northern Ireland. He's crap. Why'd you have him on? But did you enjoy it? Did you?
I really loved it, and I was a bit. This is going to sound weird. Like as a comedian, but like off stage or off whatever mic, whatever, I'm quite shy. So I was a bit worried because obviously it's you and Neil and Diona and Colin, and I thought, oh my God, they're all really big personalities. And like off stage, I'm not really a big personality. And I think even the sound man was shitting himself a wee bit because he came in before and was all to me, now we're going to need you to speak up. We're going to need you, you know, they're all loud and they're all big and, you know, we've turned the volume up, but we're going to need you. And I thought, oh my God, this is terrifying. So whenever we started filming, I didn't talk for about 10 minutes and my friend was in the audience and she was like, say something. But then once it started, it was totally fine, and it probably made a difference because obviously I've met you before, and you know you're so nice, and like everybody was really encouraging and lovely, and everybody was like, you know, giving you time to speak, whereas I thought it would be like, you know when there's a group of comedians in a room and they're all fighting for attention, and then I'm standing in the corner crying. Do you know what I mean? I'm just like, I can't. This isn't my personality to interject into whatever. But it was amazing, and I loved it, and the feedback was great. Yeah. Do you know?
Well, the feedback was excellent. Yeah. And I think I don't know whether I asked you to do it, but you did a bit of warm up before the cameras rolled, and I think that was a really good idea because that's something. Yeah.
Because you said to me about doing that, and I thought, I don't know, I'm a bit like, because I was thinking, I'm a bit nervous and I don't know how that's going to go down. But I did it and it was great. And you know, the week before I went to see you, right? Oh, right. So the week before, Jackie, the producer, was like, go the week before, see what it's like, and blah blah. And I was like, well, I know what it's like, so I watched it on the TV. But I thought, I've never been in the audience. It's never been in the studio. So I went, and there was people sitting in the row behind me, and they were saying, oh, they've had brilliant guests on, because it was Dara O'Brien the week that I saw it. This is Dara O'Brien this week. Ardal O'Hanlon was on last week. Next week it's some girl, Emer Maguire, whoever the fuck that is. Me and my mate were sitting there and we were killing ourselves laughing, and I thought, do you know what, this is going to be a bit of crack. And like, because people don't like because people don't know me and I don't have like a big profile, a big following or anything, I was like, do you know what? This can go terribly wrong, but it doesn't matter because people don't really know me anyway. Or it can go well, do you know? And it went well, and I really enjoyed it, and it made me think, do you know, I really like the panel stuff. Like I like the conversational stuff, and like having other people to chat to. Like it was great. I loved it. It was probably one of the most fun things I've ever done.
Good. Oh well, that's good. No, you fit it in brilliantly, and you spoke and all of that. But yeah, I think that, to be fair, I mean, people have an image of, you know, the blame game god. It's but we want the guest to succeed, and you know, we want the guest to, and we give you time and all of that. And you know, I let you speak to me, which normally I don't. I have the entourage, you know, they keep people away.
Yes, a bodyguard.
Keep people away because
I wasn't a threat, you see.
I'm busy doing the coke and stuff, you know, and the dressing. But I let you.
Oh no, it was great, and like people in comedy know this anyway, but like you're very encouraging. Do you know what I mean? Because I think people probably see you and think, you know, Tim's been doing this for a long time, Tim's big and famous and all this here, but actually you're very encouraging to people like myself who don't really, and I'm not just saying this because we're being recorded, but you know, people who are kind of starting and stuff, and it is really good because when you go to something like that and everybody else is known, like you are nervous. Do you know what I mean? And you are thinking, God, I don't want to be the really crap one here, and I don't want to be.
You can't have been too good though, because he wouldn't have asked you back.
He's not asked me back yet. So yeah, it was brilliant. I really enjoyed it. Loved it.
Yeah. No, I only pretend to be nice to the young ones. I fucking hate you all, to be honest with you. Just selling out stadiums and all of that. But you're doing loads of gigs now, and you're all over the place, and you're stealing some of my corporate work and stuff, because I know that. Cause I see you doing things. God, I used to do that. But that's a good line as well. And musical comedy is slightly different. You've got a nice wee vibe there.
Yeah.
Funny songs, but also like just stand up normal comedy, you know.
It's kind of different. The musical comedy, like
some people say it's cheating now. You know that pure comedians go, I've got a song that'll fill 5 minutes.
Yeah, I would actually think it's, if anything, it's like an extra level of talent. But you see, the thing is,
funny, some people, Teresa Livingston agrees with you, but everybody else goes, cheating, that is.
I know. I always think, because to me, I'm like, you know, stand and talk for 10 minutes. Anybody can stand and talk for 10 minutes. You know, can you write a song? But I always think, like, because I didn't start out as comedy, and I was doing my science talks, people were saying they were funny, and then I started doing, like, I mean, it sounds dorky as hell, but I started doing science songs to make them funny, to try and get more people interested in science. But, like, they were piss-take songs, and they were jokes and all, and then people were like, oh, the songs are really funny. So that's why I started writing them, but I have always just written songs. Like, I've written songs my whole life. I've written songs since I was about 5. Like, that's been my lifelong hobby. And I used to, like, I was trying to start doing, like, wee music gigs and stuff, so I was doing really tiny gigs, you know, bar nobody's listening to, and I would be playing these love songs about heartbreak and getting dumped and like about pure devastation, and people would be coming up being like, I was a cracker, I was really funny, do you know what I mean? So then I was like, right, you know, the songs about my horrendous life are funny, great. So that was kind of started people saying about the science stuff being funny and the songs funny at the same time, and it kind of combined them. But see, when I started, I did the songs, but I would not talk at all because I was so nervous. So all I did was sing. But I think, you know, now I do an even mix of both. But the likes of doing the corporate stuff and doing the music, I think a lot of people, when they see a guitar, they think, this is going to be so corny. This is going to be horrendous. Like, oh, I hate musical comedy. And actually, whenever you see the amount of people come up after and they're like, I thought that was going to be terrible, and I loved it. I thought, I hate musical comedians.
Well,
that was fantastic.
Disingenuous about this because we started to do songs in our show, and we can't even sing.
I think that's part of the comedy.
You don't need to be able to.
No, but we started to introduce songs into the show, and a lot of people say that they come along, they like the show, but they like the songs in the show as well.
But that's the thing, like people are kind of drawn to music. Now, if the music is crap, it's different. And I think a lot of people, because people stay behind, say to me like, "Oh, you can really sing," and I'm like, "Well, I wouldn't be singing if I couldn't sing." But
we do actually sing. We can't sing, but you know,
people actually, I think, expect musical comedians to be like failed musicians. Do you know what I mean? Or poor musicians or bad musicians. So then when you're actually okay, people are shocked. Do you know? So I think it's a nice mix. Plus, whenever I do shows and you do a big show, I think, you know, I don't want to stand and talk to people for a few hours. It's different if you're able to have, like, at my shows I'll have like a grand piano and a guitar and a bit of backing tracks and stuff like that, and it makes it like, I would be bored sitting at a show I have no attention.
Yeah.
Whereas I could watch something where it's different, every 10 minutes.
Well, I went to see Bill Bailey a couple of years back, and I
Yeah.
thought that was absolutely brilliant. I
Yeah,
have to
it adds
say.
a level of creativity
Oh,
to
yeah,
it, you know.
Bill.
He's amazing.
Amazing.
He is really, really good.
Amazingly good.
You know,
Yeah.
and it lets you kind of also like, so obviously I do the funny stuff and the comedy stuff, but if you're doing music, it gives you the opportunity. Like loads of bad things have happened in my life and everybody else's life, but if you're doing music, it gives you the opportunity to do the odd sad song. So whenever I do like stand-up shows, it's just me. Like people are laughing, but then like there's some of my songs people are crying their eyes out, and I'm like, it's kind of more of a show, like an emotional thing.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
just like laugh, which I like because I mean things aren't funny all the time. You know what I mean? Like it's just kind of real life, you know.
Have we made our audience cry?
Probably for different reasons.
That's right.
I tried to make an audience member cry recently.
That's right. Yes, you did. That's right.
You had a bad experience with an audience member because I normally don't, but I did have. We were playing the Grand Opera House there at the end of our tour. And this wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault.
was your
Right?
fault. You were
There's
warned.
1,000 people in the opera house, right? There's the front row. There's somebody with a thing on their lap with a light on it. And Olivia Nash and various people come in.
A light?
Yeah, like a
Like
red light.
wee
So
red
somebody's
light.
somebody's filming the show. You're filming the show.
Right.
Somebody's filming the entire show.
right.
And you're not supposed to film the show in the Grand Opera. Somebody's filming the show. They're to the front of the house. Somebody's filming the show.
Get them out.
Speak to them or get them sorted.
Get them sorted.
Get them sorted. I come out and the guy's still sitting there filming with the thing. So I'm doing my stand-up.
Exactly, he wasn't.
I go, hey, you filming the show?
Oh,
You're not supposed
God.
to film a show. It should be the worst Netflix special ever, mate. And I go, turn that off. And then, of course, turns out he's actually deaf, and this is a
was it his
machine.
lip?
Yeah.
This is a machine to help him.
I'm
Sitting in the front.
sitting up in my dressing room. Come on.
And I go,
I just hear him digging the hole. You know, it's
Oh
getting
my
worse and worse
God.
and worse. He's going, you can't film that, mate. Did you hear what I said? You can't film.
Oh God, that is so awkward.
Eventually, it all filtered out, and I heard that. Obviously, the guy explained that it was a hearing aid, and then it was for the system with his hearing,
Yeah.
and so then he tries to dig himself out of it. But anyway, you enjoying the show? Yeah, it was until you started fucking clever at me. Like,
Tim's going to get cancelled. Oh my God,
brilliant.
that is so cringy. That is so embarrassing. The one person in the
Yeah, one
audience.
person, yeah.
Brilliant.
And a fucking signer was in the show before, too. He was,
You like in the last show we actually had a
cut the
signer.
500 quid to get that signer in.
Oh my God, that is a nightmare.
So-
That's your worst nightmare.
Yes, it is.
I would
yes,
say
I'm
the
gonna
man's
go
free
with it.
tickets are guaranteed. 10 performances
for
at
life.
least.
I would go with the,
Oh
the
my
deaf person in the front
God.
row. You've never done anything like that, have you? You're,
Have I
you're nice
ev-
to your audiences, aren't you?
I have never. Have I ever singled out somebody
And
deaf
abused
or
them.
disabled? Abused them in front of 1,000 people? Not yet. Not yet. Oh, that is awful.
Yeah.
No, the only time that
If the
ever.
person is listening, by the way, I'm very sorry. I was told by two cast members
if the
that you were
person is
filming.
listening,
I
Tim,
wasn't there.
Tim, they're deaf. They're deaf, Tim.
See, the thing about it was, I actually said to you, look, before you went on, I said, you just go and don't you worry about it, Tim. I'll speak to the stage manager and they'll speak to the front of the house and get it sorted out. So don't you worry about it. 2 minutes later, what are you doing? And then he says,
You listening to me?
then he has a nerve to tell me, you didn't say that.
Anyway,
The funniest part of the show.
It was the funniest part of the show.
people
Oh,
with all
God.
disabilities are very welcome to our show.
That's why you have me on this week. It's to counteract.
That's right.
Counter. You're like, I heard Emer has
Okay.
autism.
What
This is to
disability have you
counteract
got? Autism.
that
yes.
deaf people. Oh God, Tim, that's
Yeah,
horrendous.
sorry about
I
that.
would die.
Ah, you know.
I'd
yes.
never be seen again.
And I'm normally very PC, as you know.
Oh yes, very PC. I know. No, I couldn't. I would die. I would be so embarrassed. That would really embarrass
Yes.
me. I'd never come out of my room.
No,
you
but
know?
I just went on with it because I'm a professional.
I could. I think I would
I think
cry.
the correct word is scundered.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. The worst person. Oh my God. No, I haven't had anything like that. But I was doing a thing once years ago, and there was somebody, and they were sitting, and now this, as someone gay, this was the worst thing I could have done. There was a couple sitting, and one of them had a ponytail, and I said, you know, I was talking to this guy and I said, would you want to introduce your lovely girlfriend or whatever? And the lights went up and he was like, I'm a guy. And I was just like, oh my God. And I thought, like, why did I say girlfriend? I would never say that. Why didn't I say person? And then I looked like a really bad gay person. And then I started to say, well, you know, that's, because it looked like I was homophobic because he had a boyfriend. I was like, well, I'm gay as well. And then I started going into this whole story about how gay I was. I was like, and my brother's gay. And we do gay things, not together, but we do, And so I felt so bad. So I can't even imagine how you felt, because at least they weren't deaf. You know what I mean? That's horrendous. That is horrendous.
Yes, well, if that person is out there, I'm very sorry.
Now you're sponsoring the
big gay community in Strabane, is there? You know that Larne have a pride? Larne
do
have
they?
a pride? Yeah.
Huge
Pride about
community in
what?
Strabane.
What is Lauren proud about?
No,
There's nothing
Does
to be.
Strabane have pride? Well,
Derry does a big pride, doesn't it?
but there's loads of gay people in Derry.
I know, of course. I know.
You're like, they're just all in the big smoke. They're just all in
No,
Belfast, hanging around the Kremlin. No, there's loads. Strabane seems to have a very high percentage of gay people.
Is that right?
My family are a lot of gay people. I don't know if there's something in the water. I don't know what it is, but a lot of gay people. Sure, we had a gay bar for years.
Is that right?
Like the Central, I think it's closed down now, but we had that whenever I was like 15, 16, which was a really long time ago.
Yeah.
For there to be a gay bar and a little.
That's really good, actually, yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Actually, yeah.
And weirdly, it never really seemed to be an issue in Strabane. And then I went to school in Derry. Oh my God, there's so many gay people in Derry. Somehow, yet I am still single. But there's a lot of gay people. But
Did you go to school in Derry? Didn't you?
I went to school in Derry.
Right.
Yeah, I went to lovely Lumen Christie in Derry, and which used to be St Columns.
Right.
You were a Derry girl then?
I was. So Derry Girls, I thought, I love Derry Girls, but it's because I thought it was so true to life, because it was like all the girls in my school, So yeah, I went there and loved it. They didn't love us Strabane folk, but it was great. Because it made me think like, I'm in the big city, I'm so cool. It made me feel like, I'm a small country time girl in a big city. It's great,
And now you live in Belfast?
I live in Belfast, yeah. So, which I love because a lot of people, I think if you're from Belfast, a lot of people don't really appreciate it because they've you don't really love where you've grown up from usually. But I just think Belfast is great. I think it's great. Shops are open till 11 o'clock at night. I just think it's amazing. I just think it's brilliant. It's great. There's something to do all the time. I love it.
I love Belfast as well.
So I lived in the Armour Road for like 10 years, and then I got dumped. So I moved to I know,
Have you
Four
any
Winds.
songs about that?
I do.
Have you loads of songs about that?
Oh my God! So I
The Taylor Swift of Belfast.
therapy. Take
name?
notes. It's so funny because last year, whenever I got made redundant from the relationship, I was writing a show, and it was like the first tour I was going to do and everything. And the day that I got dumped, do you know Miley Cyrus' song Flowers? So her song came out that day, so I got dumped and went out to the car. Now we've been going out for 11 years. It wasn't it was a shock to me. So I went out to the car, and Miley Cyrus' song Flowers was playing, and it was about breakups and getting dumped and all this here. And I was like listening in the car, and I was like, that's a cracker song. It's class song. And then it went like viral and like broke loads of records and stuff. And I watched the video for it. And in the video for the song, Miley Cyrus is wearing this like gold ensemble, like this wrap. And it was an outfit that she wore on the catwalk with her husband whenever he was seen kind of telling her off and stuff, so people turned against him. And then she wears this suit, which was his wedding suit, and she wears it into this massive house that he brought allegedly 14 women to cheat on her with. So the whole video was based on this.
All right.
So I decided, in that moment, was I was being devastated, I was like, I'm gonna re-film Miley Cyrus's song, but with me as Miley, in the underwear, and then in the stuff, and there's she's in her underwear in the garden, like working out and all. So I did that, and like I got my mate Kate, who's in her 60s, to like stand in her garden with a hose and like spray me and all this here, and it was brilliant crack. But I then had that song. And then I also had a really, really sad song about getting dumped and about not being good enough, which is actually really sad. And it was on piano. It was all very dramatic. So I went to do my first show of that tour, and her parents were in the front row, right? And I thought,
Our parents were in the front row.
Yes, because they're so decent. They bought tickets when we were together,
right.
and I'm sure they thought we'll need to support this poor wee girl. She's just been
Right,
dumped.
So they weren't. All right.
So they were in the front row.
Influence.
Maybe. So I went.
Spent my money. Like, spent my money on the tickets. Like,
She better not say anything about my daughter on the bit trouble.
My money's worth. But of course, then I had to do. So we had the big video up of me doing me in the underwear doing the Miley Cyrus with the 6-pack drawn on and like swimming. She swims in a private pool in it. I rented out. There's a pool that that's a private pool that you can rent and carry off for disabled people, where you get hoisted in. So I rented that the pool. So like the whole time, and they were just like, we can see why you got dumped, I think. And then I had to tell the story of getting broken up, and like it was in the marketplace, which is small, so we were literally nearly nose to nose, and I was like, "This is about getting broken up," and I couldn't believe it. So I did get a few songs out of it, but I also had to do the first ever performance to her parents. Yes, in the front row.
Did they take it well? Did they?
I think so, because they're nice and they're good cracking all here. But like I was dying on the inside. It was nearly as bad as Deafgate. Like I was really like I wish they had been deaf.
Don't call it Deafgate, because that's going to stick. That's going to stick.
Let's create a hashtag, folks. Hashtag cancel Tim.
Tim McGarry hates deaf people. No, stop that. Stop that.
They're going to clip that. Yes, I do. So yeah, I did get a few songs out of it now, but I'm over it now. And so then I moved out to Four Winds, and me and my brother both did, because he got dumped around the same time. There must be something wrong with us.
Really?
Yeah. So we both bought houses next door to each other, like two shadows. So now we have a little homosexual commune up at Four Winds, which is lovely. Yeah. So we're kind of we're up there, but it's great. I love it. It's really nice. Yeah.
Belfast is all right. I like
Belfast. Is great. I'm
so
very
you come
easily
all the way
pleased.
from Strabane to live with your brother in Belfast.
Next door, there's a wall between us. Yeah, but actually, that's such a culty thing to do, because my brother and sister, we have another two brother and sister in Strabane. They're the straight contingent, and they actually live next to each other in Strabane. So it's very it's just but it's great, because when our family comes in, they're just our house is next door to each other, so they just be in and out or knock on the wall, or it's great. Throw stuff over the fence. It's really handy. It is handy,
Here, I saw you in something the other night.
Very much.
I saw you in House You Cutting.
Oh yes, did you watch it?
I did watch it. Really enjoyed it.
Oh, good.
Did enjoy it. Yeah.
I'm glad.
Thought you were very, very good.
Thank you, Timothy.
Thought you were very, very good.
Thank you.
I saw King Rory as well. Was in it? Mm-hmm. Rory McSorley. Mm-hmm. I thought he was quite good.
He was good. So Rory went to my school.
Did he?
Ray was in my brother's
Frostbite
class.
Boy.
Frostbite Boy, yeah. So he went to my school and was in my brother's class, and they were
Has
wee
he gone
mates.
a bit strange? Shall we say? Did you think he's the king of Ireland or something?
I think Rory is a bit eccentric.
Oh, right, okay. Let's go with eccentric.
Let's go with eccentric. Because when people call me a bit strange, I don't like it. So let's go. I think he's quite quirky and eccentric. And he was really good in it. I didn't know how it was going to go. But he was playing an auctioneer.
Mm-hmm.
But he must be an auctioneer.
Yeah, no,
because
he's
it was
very convincing.
I think he is like a.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you train as an auctioneer or if you just have to be culty. I don't know. But he was very, very good, like very natural. So I think that's what he actually does.
No, really enjoyed it. I don't know
Yeah.
Claire at all. Don't know Claire.
I didn't know her either.
You and I knew Joe, who you were playing against. Joe.
Oh my God, I fell in love with her.
Joe.
It was the
who
first
we
time.
know. Joe
Donnelly.
Marty Maguire.
Joe Donnelly.
Yeah,
Donnelly,
we should
yeah.
get Joe on the show. We
Yeah.
know
Oh,
Marty.
he's
We know
great.
Marty Maguire very well, but
Yes.
no, Joe's been in Give Me a Headpiece a few
Oh,
times. She's
I
the
just-
nicest.
So I never met her, and I didn't know her. I think because I don't do acting, like I didn't know anybody.
So that was your first acting
and I didn't
role?
know Joan. I thought she was amazing. Yes. Oh my God. And it was well because.
Sorry, we should explain to people this is a pilot that went out on BBC
Yes,
Northern Ireland
so it was how
a
she's
couple of weeks ago.
how she cutting, and I've never heard that phrase before, so I can't get my
Well,
mouth around it.
I knew that, and I'm a big suave city slicker.
No, I did. Well, people think Strabane, like I say culture, but people think Strabane is country, but it's his concrete jungle. You know, there's no.
it is,
I didn't see a
yeah.
cow. I was about 14. Went to Barntop Farm. You know, it's not. It's not a country place. Like there's no farming. There's no whatever. Maybe on the outskirts, but yeah. So I didn't know it. I'd never heard of it, but yeah, it's basically. It's written by Claire Corrigan, who's the main character in it. So it is kind of, I think, a bit true to life for her, but a bit of a parody. And she basically wants to be a farmer's wife.
Yeah.
And it's about her trying to find
Yeah.
a farmer. It's kind of slapstick comedy sitcom. And then I'm her.
The wife wants a farmer.
The wife wants a farmer.
Yeah.
And I said to her, like, and I play your best friend. She was like, oh, we're not best friends. So I thought I was her best friend, but I'm not. I'm apparently her sidekick. But yeah, it was the first thing that I had done. I've been asked to be in a few things before, and I've always said no, because my whole life I've always thought I can do everything except for act. Like, I cannot act. But I think it was because I was just embarrassed to try acting. Do you know what I mean? And then the producer for that said to me about auditioning, did I want to audition? And I was like, absolutely not. And then they were like, well, it's a self-tape. And I thought, well, sure, nobody will see it if it goes wrong. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then I got it, and I turned up on the day, and I was like, right, what do I do? Like, how do I act? And they were like, you just be yourself or whatever. So I was essentially playing myself, and my sister texted her and it was
No,
like,
you're not that stupid, because it's a very
So
stupid
I was
thing,
playing a
very
I was
stupid
playing
thing,
a
very
stupid version of
yes,
myself.
we're playing a sort of dinner lady in this.
So a stupid version of myself.
I do that.
Yeah, but it's like my character.
Yeah, but he's
quite
method.
like,
He's
method
Stanislavski.
acting.
He doesn't. He's not like, he can't be stupid. He's not.
But that's the thing, like, because like my whole life, like my siblings, people would have said to me, you know, for someone so smart, how are you so stupid? Because I would be like really, really academic, but I would have like no common sense, do you know, or
Right.
like I would be really literal, or like there's so many things I can do, but like I can't tie my laces, or
Right.
can't
This
cook,
is
can't
the
do
autism,
whatever.
is it?
That's the tism, yeah. So like all those practical life skills, like I don't really have them,
Like
but I mean I
turning
can.
up on time and stuff.
Exactly. Well, I can't tell the time. Do you know what I mean? So I just have to go by the sun. So I was playing that version of myself, but like a stupid
Yeah,
version,
yeah.
a bit gormless and stuff. But it was brilliant crack.
Yeah.
Do you know? And but I thought I would go and people would teach you how to act, but that didn't
Yeah.
happen. Do you know? So, but it was great, and it's got a really good reception.
Yeah.
Do you know? And it's so different from like my comedy that I was like, oh, I don't know how this is going to go down with people who follow me, because like it's really Claire who wrote it. She's kind of going along the vibes of like Only Fools and Horses, Father Ted, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which is, whereas
There's a
that's
nice
the opposite of mine.
There's a nice gentle vibe off it. Yeah, it's
Oh,
a nice gentle
totally,
humour,
totally.
But yeah, no, I really quite enjoyed it. Yeah, I must
But
say,
no,
I
it was
thought you were
good.
very good, darling.
Thank you so much,
love
Timothy.
Your work, darling.
See you at the BAFTAs. Thank you. No, it was great crack. So I hope there's going to be more, because it was just really good fun, and nice to try something new as well.
Yeah.
Do you know? Yeah.
Hopefully it goes well.
Hopefully so.
Any parts for a tall grey-haired man, you let me know.
I will. I've really been thinking about that.
See your science, your serious science stuff.
Yes.
What it wasn't just all speech there. What's your science? What's your bit of science? Because I had a very bad science teacher in St. Malachy's. So I have A levels in Latin, Spanish, and I know nothing. I don't know how a microphone works. I don't know how radio works. I don't know how telephone works. I know nothing about science.
I'm probably really good at tech
You
stuff.
can't explain Schrodinger's cat theory. There.
There's something about a box and a dead cat.
Right. Okay.
A dead cat.
So my science isn't that. It's not techie stuff, but I naturally am really good at tech stuff. It's just something I seem to have always been really good at and really interested in. But my science, so I did speech and language therapy, and I didn't know speech therapy had science in it. I didn't have a clue, right? And people think like, oh, it's teaching kids with lisps or stutters, which is like not at all what it is, but that's what I thought too. And I only picked speech therapy because the girl I liked at the time when I was at school, the girl that I was kind of going out with, was going to Jordanstown. So I opened the book for Jordanstown. Picked that. And the reason I picked it was because it said speech, language, and communication. And I thought, I was a really bad communicator at the time, but I thought, you know, I'm really good at English. Like English and music were my strong subjects. And I thought, communication, that must mean English. Like you'd be writing essays or something. I'll be good at that. So I picked that at random, turned up on the first day, and they were like, okay, first lesson is neurology. And I was like, what? Like, but I really started to love it as I was there. But I realised that it was like the science part of it that I liked. So there was a lot of working with patients and stuff. And I liked working with the patients, but I didn't like being in the hospitals. Didn't really like working with the supervisors and stuff like that, because it was very anxious and stuff. And I then loved the neurology stuff so much that I applied to Queen's Inn and applied for clinical anatomy. So it was like anatomy, neurology. Tim's like, oh my God, sounds so boring.
No, actually, I'm fascinated by this, because I love the subject of language and where language come from and how children, you know, Because it's not just you don't just teach children words. They kind of
No,
their
no,
language
they
is
have to-
ingrained.
Yeah.
And they know far more words than they're taught. The language is who's the
totally.
guy? Who's the guy?
Chomsky.
Chomsky is it?
Chomsky.
Yeah.
Did you study your Chomsky?
Yeah, so and it is really interesting, like all that
Yeah.
language acquisition and everything's very, very interesting. And then whenever I did anatomy, I focused on evolution and neurology, and I kind of focused on how we acquire language. So I looked at like my dissertation was all about why humans can talk and chimps can't, which is actually really interesting, you know. So it was all about the brain and all that. And then I went to Portsmouth and studying at the minute a master's in like biological sciences and psychology, but it's all kind of that how the brain works and stuff and how the
Right.
brain takes on communication and things. So it is interesting, but I guess it's probably like that more, you know, what kind of science is it? Probably that medical, biological psychology.
Why can we talk and chimps can't?
There's a few different reasons, Tim.
We've only got 30 seconds. Make it brief.
Keep it short, but yeah.
Keep it short.
Well,
Come on.
mine was just kind of about what, you know, is it the brain, is it the vocal tract, is it the whatever, and it's kind of both. It's kind of like if you put a human brain inside a chimp, they still couldn't talk.
Right.
But if you put a vocal tract of a human inside a chimp, they'd probably have a better chance at it. But they don't have the same brain areas as us. They have similar positions, but they're not as big. They're not as expansive. But they don't have like the vocal tract. And also, like even gorillas and stuff who've been taught to do sign language, they can do it for like, you know, they want the ball, they want the drink, they want the whatever. But they never would say like, what's crack? Or how are you? Or whatever. And my dissertation at the minute...
For a stand-up or musical comedy. They don't do that.
Well, mine in Portsmouth at the minute is about do chimps have a sense of humour? Like, do they understand the crack? And it's looking at all these chimps and they're all like taking a hand out at each other and teasing each other and all this, but they're not doing it with language. They're doing it with like, you know, slapping each other on the arse and running away, or like pulling each other's tails. It's like something like a toddler would do. Do you know? So even if they had
So
language,
do chimps laugh if somebody has an accident? If a chimp falls off a tree,
yeah.
or something, they go,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
No, they do.
I
So
gotta
see
see.
physical stuff like that, like they would
Do all
love.
animals do that? Do they do?
No, so well, chimps do. So any kind of physical comedy, like they'd love Give My Headpiece. Like that would be right up their street. They love that. One of the creepiest. So dogs have a kind of laugh, but it doesn't really sound like a laugh. The creepiest ones that laugh are rats. So rats laugh when they're tickled, and I'm like, who found that out? Like, who was like, you know what I mean?
Rats laugh if they're tickled.
Rats laugh if they're tickled. Yeah,
Right.
they have a sense of humour. But chimps laugh's probably the one that's most like ours, but it sounds a bit scary. But
Right.
if a chimp falls off something, or if a chimp like pulls another chimp's leg or something, runs away, like they laugh,
Right.
which is amazing. Yeah. So it's kind of a mixture. We're kind of perfect for talking. We've kind of been built that way with evolution. You know.
Do cats laugh?
I don't think I think they probably can, but they probably don't because they're no crack at all. Like cats are just. I think cats would be too cool to laugh. Or like I'm not laughing at that.
I know. I have a cat that does the whole that attacks other cats and then disappears and goes like runs off. So it does have a sense of humor. And then it
Or else
pisses everywhere.
it's a psychopath.
Well, I think that's,
I love
we're
that you're
not
like, oh, they're
deciding on that.
attacking others. They must have a sense of humor. Like all those murderers are hilarious. They're great crack.
But you can see he's going to do it. It's very funny.
Well, I have two dogs. And the big I have a big massive dog he's about our size. He's huge, and he would go up and bite my other dog's tail or bite my other dog's ears, and then run away. But he's teasing him. Do you know, like he's trying to get a reaction out of him.
Yeah.
So they do have personalities, and
definitely.
they are a bit of crack, especially dogs. I think because they're simple-minded.
They are.
Brilliant. Emer, we're running out of time. Thank you very much.
Thank you for
Genuinely,
having me.
had a ball. Really appreciate you coming on. What are you doing next? Any gigs, tours? What have you got coming up?
Yeah, my next big gig that I have, I've lots of little small ones I can't remember right now, but my next big
Good,
one that I
well
have
done.
is in the Grand Opera House. It's in
wow.
November. I know, I'm looking forward to it. So
brilliant.
it's the first time I've done
Oh,
it. It's
you'll
nearly
love the
sold
Grand
out.
Opera.
Oh, well
so
done.
there's about I think there's about 100 tickets left.
Oh,
so
fantastic.
I'm-
Grand
I'm-
Opera House in November.
Yeah, so
Right,
I'm
what's it
really,
called?
really looking forward to it. It's called Notions.
Notions.
Because I thought whenever I booked it, I thought my ma's going to be
Notions.
like, oh, do you think you're somebody? You know what I mean? So,
Well, when you're in the opera house on the front row, there's somebody, with
With
a red light.
Let's
Jeff.
go. Hey!
So when the front row is like, wheelchair, red light, don't be saying to them.
Two gay guys. You just
Two gay guys holding hands.
that's
I'm
a big good one.
disgusting. You know, I'll do my best to stay away. I've small ones before that. I'm doing the likes of stand hall and stuff like that.
brilliant.
So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, Notions will be my new big one.
Emer, always a
And
pleasure.
yeah.
And,
Thank you very much, Tim.
we'll bring you back in the blame game if we can get you back sometime.
100%,
Well,
yes.
It's out of my hands. I have no influence, but
I think
did
you're
very
the
well.
bank. He's
You'll
the
be
big
welcome
boss.
back.
I would love to be back. It was brilliant. But thanks very much for having me, guys.
You're very
Thank you.
welcome. And tell your ma when we're on, when you're on, so she can send clips.
Oh, I will. I will. She'll be delighted.
Listen, thank you very much, Emer, and thanks to Emer's ma for listening. She's a very wise woman. Ladies and gentlemen, Give My Head podcast. Like, subscribe, follow the links, and you can email us as well. And we're going to be doing a live show later this year. We'll give you more details when we know what we're going to be doing ourselves. But thank you for listening, and see you next time on the Give My Head podcast. Thank you.
Yeah.